Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, where I explain complex topics in simple and engaging ways. Today, I'm going to talk about the International Monetary Fund, or IMF for short. What is it? What does it do? And why does it matter? Let's find out. The IMF is a major financial agency of the United Nations and an international financial institution headquartered in Washington, D.C., consisting of 190 countries. Its stated mission is working to foster global monetary cooperation, secure financial stability, facilitate international trade, promote high employment and sustainable economic growth, and reduce poverty around the world. The IMF was established in 1944 in the aftermath of the Great Depression of the 1930s. 44 founding member countries sought to build a framework for international economic cooperation. Today, its membership embraces 190 countries, with staff drawn from 150 nations. The IMF is governed by and accountable to those 190 countries that comprise its near-global membership. The IMF has three main functions: lending, surveillance, and capacity development. Lending. The IMF provides loans, including emergency loans, to member countries experiencing actual or potential balance of payments problems. The aim is to help them rebuild their international reserves, stabilize their currencies, continue paying for imports, and restore conditions for strong economic growth while correcting underlying problems. For example, the IMF helped Ireland recover from the global financial crisis of 2008 to 2009 by providing a loan of €22.5 billion as part of a larger bailout package. Surveillance. The IMF monitors the international monetary system and global economic developments to identify risks and recommend policies for growth and financial stability. The fund also undertakes a regular health check of the economic and financial policies of its 190 member countries. In addition, the IMF identifies possible risks to the economic stability of its member countries and advises their governments on possible policy adjustments. For example, the IMF helped Vietnam achieve macroeconomic stability and high growth by providing policy advice on fiscal consolidation, monetary policy, exchange rate management, and structural reforms. Capacity development. The IMF provides technical assistance and training to governments, including central banks, finance ministries, revenue administrations, and financial sector supervisory agencies. These capacity development efforts are centered on the IMF's core areas of expertise, ranging from taxation through central bank operations to the reporting of macroeconomic data. Such training also helps countries tackle cross-cutting issues, such as income inequality, gender equality, corruption, and climate change. For example, the IMF helped Tuvalu improve its public financial management and resilience to natural disasters by providing technical assistance on budget formulation, execution, reporting, and auditing. The IMF's resources mainly come from the money that countries pay as their capital subscription, quotas, when they become members. Each member of the IMF is assigned a quota based broadly on its relative position in the world economy. Countries can then borrow from this pool when they fall into financial difficulty too. The IMF also has other sources of income, such as interest charges on its loans, gold sales, and voluntary contributions from members. The IMF's main decision-making body is the Board of Governors. It consists of one governor and one alternate governor for each member country. The governor is usually the Minister of Finance or the head of the central bank. The Board of Governors meets once a year at the annual meetings of the Boards of Governors of the World Bank Group and the IMF. The day-to-day work of the IMF is overseen by its 24-member executive board, which represents the entire membership and is supported by IMF staff. The executive board meets several times a week to discuss country reports, lending requests, policy issues, and other matters. The managing director is the head of the IMF staff and the chair of the executive board. He or she is assisted by 4 deputy managing directors. The managing director is appointed by the executive board for a renewable term of 5 years. The current managing director is Kristalina Georgieva from Bulgaria. The IMF works closely with other international organizations such as the World Bank Group, WBG, the World Trade Organization, WTO, the United Nations, UN, and regional development banks. The IMF also collaborates with civil society organizations, CSOs, such as non-governmental organizations, NGOs, labor unions, business associations, think tanks, and academic institutions. The IMF engages with CSOs through dialogue sessions, consultations, seminars, workshops, publications, and online platforms. The IMF has faced some criticism over its history for various reasons. Some critics argue that the IMF imposes harsh conditions on its borrowers that undermine their sovereignty and social welfare. Others claim that the IMF favors rich countries over poor ones in its decision-making and lending practices. Still, others accuse the IMF of being ineffective or irrelevant in addressing global challenges, such as climate change or inequality. However, the IMF has also made some reforms and improvements over time to respond to the changing needs and demands of its members and the world. For example, the IMF has increased its lending capacity and flexibility, enhanced its transparency and accountability, strengthened its governance and representation, broadened its policy advice and analysis, and diversified its staff and expertise. The IMF is a complex and dynamic institution that plays a vital role in the global economy. It helps countries overcome economic difficulties, prevent or resolve crises, and achieve sustainable development. It also promotes international cooperation and dialogue on critical issues that affect the well-being of billions of people. The IMF could be better, but it is constantly evolving and adapting to the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new about the IMF. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Also, feel free to leave a comment below with your questions or feedback. Thank you for watching and see you next time.